We're about to learn 5 metal songs in 10 days. Whether you've been playing the drums for a while or you just started playing the drums, this is a lesson for you and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Stick around to the end because I got a surprise for you that I'm pretty pumped about. We're gonna kickstart it with this first one. It's only gonna take like 30 seconds to learn this one. This is Warriors of the World United by Man O' War. This song's at 87 BPM. Here's the part. It's quarter notes on the hi-hat, 1 and 3 on the kick drum, 2 and 4 on the snare. Listen to the track for whenever he adds crashes with the snare and drum, and we do need to learn one short drum fill. Occasionally, on beat 4, he plays 4E and A. And that's it. Listen for a couple of crashes with the snare drum. Listen for when he drops out. Other than that, you're good to go on that song. Metal song number 2 is Dunkelheit by Burzum. This song is slow. It's 55 BPM. It starts with 4 measures and all we do is crash on 1. We do that for 4 measures. The next 4 measures, we open the hi-hat, play 16th notes with the right hand, 1E and A, 2E and A, 3E and A. 1 and 3 with the kick drum, 2 and 4 with the snare drum, just like on the last song. After those 4 measures of playing groove, we have a 5 measure section. The first measure is just like at the beginning. It's a crash on 1. Second measure, no crash. Third measure, crash on 1. Fourth measure, crash on 1. The 5th measure, we finally have our first drum fill, and it's gonna be 4E and A. 4, and then we go back into the same drum beat. 3E and A, 4. I'll let you listen to the rest of the song to get the breaks. One variation on this groove that he starts to do is that drum fill, he actually adds it with the groove. So now instead of playing 4E and A, he plays it 4E and A. That's it. That's the second song. We're already on song number 3. I can't believe it. Swinging in, we got Avenged Sevenfold, Hail to the King. At the top, we're out for 4 measures. Then we play 2 and 4 on the hi-hat for the next 4 measures. 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. For the next 7 measures after that, we continue playing 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, but we add the kick drum. 3, 4, 1. The measure before the drums come in fully, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 4, and then and on the kick drum. 3, 4, 1. The groove is open hi-hat, 8th notes on the hi-hat, 1 and 3 on the kick drum, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. We play that groove for 6 measures. On the 7th and 8th bar, we play that groove on measure 7, but on the and of 4, we hit a crash cymbal. In the next measure, there's nothing on 1. We have floor tom, high tom, kick drum, and we're building to beat 4. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Those 2 bars or a variation of it will be coming back throughout the song. We continue to play that groove into the first verse. The last measure of each verse, there is a recurring lick. I call these drum hooks. And the pattern goes kick, snare, snare, kick, kick, snare, snare, kick. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. With the kick drum, we're playing open hi-hat. With the snare drum, we're playing crash cymbals. That last kick drum on the upbeat of 4 doesn't have a hi-hat with it. 3 and 4 and 1. 3, 4. Then we're into the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus is 8 measures long. In bars 7 and 8, there is something we need to pay attention to because it recurs in every pre-chorus. The lick for bar 7 is kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The first kick drum has an open hi-hat with it. None of the other kick drums do. The snare drums have crashes with them. 3, 4. Bar 8 of the pre-chorus, we have 1 and then on both toms, 2 and 3 and 4. Last 3 measures of the pre-chorus together. 3, 4. Now we're to the chorus. You need to listen to the choruses, see where he uses crash cymbals because he changes that a little bit within the song. The basic groove is a 2-measure loop. It's 1 and 3 on the kick drum, 2 and 4 on the snare in the first measure. Second measure of that loop is 1, 2, 3, and 4. At the end of the chorus, we have the lick that we played at the end of the verse. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When he drops out of the song, he plays 2 and 4 on the toms and the kick drum for 4 measures. On the 4th measure, there is a lick that's a little bit faster, but I've got 2 variations for you. One is actually what he plays, the other one's the easier version. So on measure 4 of that section, if we want the easier version, we can go 1, 2, 3E and a 4. 3E and a 4. 1, 2, 3E and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1. Now what he actually plays in that measure, he plays 2 on the toms and the kick drum. In beat 3 on the upbeat, so the and, he plays 4 32nd notes. That's like 16th notes, but twice as fast. So 3E and then and is an 3E, 3E. He ends with a kick drum on beat 4. This is a pretty quick lick. Don't let things like this hold you up from learning the song. Learn the easy version, come back and add that in later. Here's what it sounds like. Our 4th song is Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth. Got something really exciting to tell you. I'm pumped about it. These are so much fun for me and for the people that attend. So registration for the 2024 SDS camp season is open now. Now last year these sold out. I sent out a couple of emails and in 2 weeks they were completely sold out, waiting list only. Jump to the link in the video description. All of the information is at the link below. Do not wait around. Hopefully I'll see you here at the SDS studios in 2024. This actually starts with the drum pickup. It starts on the and of 3 and it goes 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. This song's a little quicker. It's at 140 BPM and has a few more parts than the other songs, so that may be a little challenging for some of you. It's okay if some of these songs only take you a day or half a day to learn and the other songs take you 2 or 3 of the days. It's okay if we fudge the calendar a little bit, but our goal's 10 days. For the intro and the first verse, he plays a 4-bar loop. It's 8 notes on the hi-hat, 1 and 3 on the kick drum, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. In measure 4, he plays 3 and on the kick drum. Here's that 4-bar loop. A tricky part about this song is getting into the pre-chorus. So we have that groove going on in the verse. In the last measure of the verse, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then he doesn't hit the downbeat with his bass drum in the next measure, which kind of gives it an off-kilter feel. That may take you a second to learn. In the pre-chorus, it's a 2-bar loop. The kick drum goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. 3, So every 2 measures he avoids beat 1. We're playing 8th notes on the hi-hat. In the second measure of this loop, on the and of beat 3, we raise the hi-hat, no hi-hat on beat 4, and then we crash on the and of 4. Let me play those 2 measures together. On measure 7, we crash on the and of beat 4. Then we have an 8th note tom fill. I don't have 3 toms, I've only got 2 here. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And he crashes on the and of 4. 3, 4. Let me play the whole pre-chorus for you. The chorus is a 4-bar loop with 1 and 3 on the kick, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. Measure 4, he plays something a little bit different. He plays 1, 2, and 3, and 4. He plays the ride cymbal on the choruses. After the second chorus, we have 8 measures before they go into the solos where he kind of toys around with a little bit of halftime feel. It's essentially a 2-bar loop. In the first measure, the kick drum's on 1, the and of 2, the and of 3, and the and of 4. Quarter notes on the hi-hat, open hi-hats. 3, 4. Snare drum in that first measure comes on beat 3. Snare drum in the second measure comes on beat 4. The kick drum in the second measure is on the downbeat of 1, the and of 2, and the and of 3. Let me put all that together for you. 3, 4. Now we're into the solo. So once we get into the solo, he avoids on the first measure beat 1. He does that in this song a little bit with the kick drum. So it's 1 and 2, 3, 4. Then we have 3 more measures of 1 and 3 on the kick drum, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. On that fourth measure, whenever we go into that next halftime part, he hits the and of 4 with the kick drum and a crash. The next 4 measures, a little tricky. He goes into a halftime feel for 2 measures. 8 notes on an open hi-hat. The kick drum is on the and of 2, snare drum on 3, kick drum and crash on the and of 4. 3, 4, 1. The next measure, we have the kick drum again on the and of 2, snare drum on 3, snare drum on 4, kick and crash on the and of 4. Let me put those 2 measures together. And then he's back into straight time. 2 and 4 on the snare, 1 and 3 on the kick. 3, 4. Let me play that whole solo section just so you can hear it. 3, 4. Now all we need to do is nail the ending. We have 1 and 2 and on 3 we hit a crash with a kick drum. Then the last measure, it's 1 and 2 and. Let me play the last 3 measures. We'll do the groove, the build, and then the last hits. 3, 4. And for the fifth one, we've got the classic Enter Sandman by Metallica. The first 7 measures, slightly open hi-hat, 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3. Measure 8, it's all 4 beats. Then we go to the toms. We're playing 8 notes with the right hand on the floor tom. The kick drum is on quarter notes. This is kind of a 4-bar loop. He does some improvisation in there, so just kind of listen for that. It's nothing too difficult. We're gonna play 2 on the high tom and then 4 and. On the 4th measure, it's 3 and 4, and then we crash with the snare drum. The second time through that 4-bar loop, he crashes on the upbeat of 2 and the upbeat of 4. The third time through that 4-bar loop, he crashes on the upbeat of 2, 3, and 4. Just listen for those. Some of those snare and crashes are a little bit random. We've got a 2-bar 8th note build into where the full band comes in with the groove, and he hits the and of 4. And then we're back to 1 and 3 on the kick drum, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. I think you're seeing a little bit of similarity between some of these songs. There's a 4-bar loop. At the end of every 4th measure, he plays the and of 4 on the crash cymbal with the kick drum. Let me play the build into that. We have 4 measures of pre-chorus. He takes it to halftime. Again, he hits the and of 4 going into that, avoids beat 1 with the kick drum. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On the 4th measure, it's 3 beats of build, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let me play all 4 measures for you. He plays the chorus the same way every time. Let's go through it measure by measure. It's not hard. 8 notes on the hi-hat, sloshy. We have 1 and 3 on the kick drum, 2 and 4 on the snare drum in the first measure. Second measure, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've done that before. The third measure is a little bit different. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Fourth measure in the kick drum, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Then we have that lick again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Sixth measure, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Let me play all those together for you. The solo is a repeat of the verse, pre-chorus, and chorus. Then in the bridge, he breaks it down to the toms again. He's essentially doing the same groove that he was doing on the intro. In measures 11 and 12 of the bridge, to round out this song, let's catch the fill he does there. He is improvising there a little bit, so listen to the track, improvise accordingly. The drum fill starts in measure 11. It starts on the and of 4. It goes 4 E and a, 1 E and a, and then 2 on the kick drum, and a 3 E and a 4 and. Let me play those 2 measures. And that's 5 songs in 10 days. Now for the surprise I told you about. I've got all 5 of these songs fully transcribed in a PDF. You can download it. There's a link in this video description.